So in my journey of going through all the rebuild of Evangelion movies again, I have finally reached Evangelion 2.0 You Cannot Advance. Now, this is where the series of the rebuild movies kind of skew off from the original series, because holy shit, there's a lot to talk about here. And then 3.0 is its own thing entirely. Honestly, I don't know how people feel about Evangelion 2.0. I personally like the movie, though I can understand people would have, problems with it, because it's not only just an it incorporates parts from episodes, I think, 8, 9, because, obviously Asuka gets introduced in this movie. It brings in stuff from episodes 18 and 19, and a little bit from 23. It's so weird, but yeah, it's not the worst thing ever, but you know what? I like the movie. It's honestly a lot more lighthearted, but I'll get into that in a minute. So, obviously, knowing how off this movie starts off in the original series, it starts off with a brand new character in the form of Mari Makanami. Now, Mari Makanami, I'm not going to pronounce like her whole name, Mari Illustrious Makanami. I'm not doing that shit. Anyway, Mari is a brand new character introduced in the rebuild of Evangelion movies. And honestly, I have no opinion on her whatsoever. Honestly, Mari, it's nice to see a fresh new face in Evangelion, but considering that she's, I don't know, I feel no connection to her. At least with characters, back in the day, like Gendo, Ritsuko, Masato, Shinji, Asuka, all of them, I can feel a connection to them that carries over to rebuild. Not Mari. So just something about her just doesn't, she's okay, but, she's all right. She just feels so weird, I know rebuild's like a whole different thing, and, a lot of the characters aren't depressed and all that shit like they used to be in the original series, but I don't know, just something about Mari just doesn't rub me right, but whatever. Ryoji Kaji, the new iteration, at least, of Ryoji Kaji is introduced in this film, and he's pretty cool. I like Kaji, I like him, he's there. All I can say, he's there in this movie. He has a little pep talk with Shinji. He introduced him to like the aquarium part in this movie, which I will get to. Honestly, I should have said this before I start this video. If you guys haven't even seen the rebuild movies, please don't watch this video, please, because this is all spoilers, all of it, and none of it will make sense if you haven't watched the movie yet. So apparently, we got Mari, right? I'm back to Mari. She's apparently such a G, right? She's such a G. She's such a cool gal that she was able to kill an angel with just a test Evangelion. Honestly, it's, I don't know, just something about Mari I just don't like. It's not like I hate her, but I don't know, there's something, off about her. Like she shouldn't be here. I guess I have to look at a rebuild as its own series, which it is. And even so, Mari just doesn't feel right. She feels like an awkward piece of the puzzle that was kind of forced into place. I don't know. I like Mari's peppy personality, but it's just, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just because I'm still thinking of this as if it was an original Evangelion. Now, if Mari was introduced in the original OG series Evangelion, then I would be a lot more critical of her. But I guess since she's a rebuild character for this stuff, yeah. She's not technically I can't remember. She was introduced in the manga, but that came before. She had a cameo in the manga of Evangelion, but the two characters have no connection to each other. So whatever. Anyway, so we're moving on. We have new angel designs in this movie. We have a new angel, and since no one knows the name of it, I'm just going to call it Clockiel, because Clockiel looks cool as shit. It's like this clock angel shit that can walk across the ocean by freezing it. It's cool as shit. And that's when Asuka makes her appearance. Now, in the original series, Masato took Shinji and his pals onto this ship, and then what's the ship and a crew, and then they get attacked by an angel over the ocean, and that's where Asuka is introduced. They drop her down. She has her Unit 1 cloaked in covered in the rags and shit, this big cloak and shit like that. She takes on the angel, hopping from ship to ship. In this version, they drop Asuka down from the sky, no cloak, no nothing, and then she just she kicks the shit out of Clockiel. Honestly, I like the original version better because it had more weight to it. Now it's just now Asuka is getting introduced, and it's some fancy backflip bullshit. I'm it's nice because this Asuka in this version is a lot flashier than the one back in OG series. But honestly, I don't know, man. I like her OG introduction better, but this one's fine too. I like the fact that she can cut through the AT field by having a bunch of I think nails underneath her foot. I don't know how to describe it, but it's cool. I don't know. But yeah, So this Asuka in this version of Evangelion, instead of being Asuka Langley Soryu, it's Asuka Langley Shikinami. Now I know the Soryu and the Shikinami, they're like I think like a Japanese. I don't know if they were ships or aircraft. I might be wrong. I think they're ships, and she's Asuka's so weird in this version. Like I think what made Asuka for me in the original series is that like she was this tsundere character, but she had like a lot of baggage, like all the other characters is, and it explained her tsundere personality. Like it worked into her character that way. She wasn't just a tsundere just to be a tsundere. She had a lot of mental trauma and bullshit that happened in her life to make her that way. It's played on the idea of, yeah, a tsundere character, but like, you know, she's all effed up in the head, which is why she acts that way. And here, she's just like an average tsundere, you know? Like, it's so weird because, like, I don't know, she feels like she had a lot of her character stripped away from her. And I'll get into more of that as I get further into, like, into the video. But honestly, Asuka Langley Shikinami, I can treat her as her own character. And honestly, she has nothing on the original Asuka. That's what, like, her messed up mental trauma bullshit is what made Asuka so beloved. Shikinami is kind of just like Asuka light, if I were to say that, like a light version of Asuka. Like, you know, like, yeah, like ice cream that has like sugar free and doesn't taste the same. It's like that. She's sugar free Asuka. But anyway, moving from on that further into the movie, Ryoji Kaji brings in. I keep calling him Ryoji Kaji. Like his whole name, as if it was one name. But anyway, Kaji brings in like this item called Nebuchadnezzar's Key, which is a replacement for like Adam's embryo. So you know, like Gendo needed Adam's embryo to fuse within his hand, so he can, you know, use Rei in order to start off human instrumentality. Well, it's replaced with Nebuchadnezzar's Key. And I still don't remember the purpose. I don't know if it's explained in 3.0 what Nebuchadnezzar's Key is. Well, obviously this is all set up. But I don't know why he replaced Adam's embryo with Nebuchadnezzar's Key. I don't know. Like, I don't know. But anyway, further into the film, we get Asuka Rumi shenanigans. Like, the thing about this series is, like, it's a lot more lighthearted than anything of Evangelion, you know? Like, it reminds me a little bit of the the Ayanami Raising Project. If you guys don't know what the Ayanami Raising Project is, it's like this lighthearted side series of Evangelion. It's a manga and a game where, like, Rei is, like, the cousin of Shinji, and she has romantic feelings for him, and shit like that. They ship, like, the manga itself ships Rei and Shinji together. They play on that ship a lot. Funny enough, this movie feels like it. Like, this movie does play a lot on Asuka, Rei, and Shinji's relationship. I'll get into that in a minute. But anyway, yeah. It feels like more lighthearted, like Ayanami Raising Project. It just feels like there's no other side series of Evangelion that's, like, officially licensed that doesn't feel like this. You know what I mean? Like, hell, like, this, it's so weird. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, there's a bunch of more hearted scenes in this one movie than the entirety of Eva 1.0 and definitely Eva 3.0. Eva 3.0 has no lightheartedness in it. But anyway, it feels like Anno is saying, like, he's basically telling the audience, all right, guys, you can have some happy fun times with Eva before I pull the rug up underneath you. Like, honestly, it's so weird, dude. Like, it's so weird. Like, it feels so unnatural, but I guess that was the point of the movie. It feels unnatural, you know? It's like some weird... It feels weird. I don't know what to say, man. Like, honestly, I feel like the general consensus of this movie is, like, I think people like this movie more than 1.0 and 3.0. I understand a lot of people do not like 3.0, but I'm going to get into that when I get to the movie. But anyway, moving on further into the movie, Asuka has this weird fixation with a doll for some reason. Like, she talks to the doll. Like, she has, like, this doll she talks to, and she keeps around. In the OG series, her mom, Kyoko Zeppelin, Soryu Zeppelin, I forgot how order it went. And yeah, it was Kyoko Zeppelin Soryu, there we go. And she had this fixation with Asuka as a doll because, you know, she kind of went insane after the first Contact Evangelion experiment. And she kind of put the attachment of Asuka onto this doll and then, you know, shit like that. But in this version, like, she has the doll for some reason. I don't know why. There's no reason other than it being a callback to Asuka's mom. And I don't know. They don't even bring up Asuka's mom at all in the movie. Like, Asuka feels so stripped away. Like, Asuka Langley Shikinami does not feel like Asuka Langley Soryu. Like, there's so much weird with the character. It's I don't know. But anyway, going on to further in the movie, they're doing something where they're trying to create Eva Mark 6, right? Like, they don't call it Evangelion Unit 6. They call it Eva Mark 6. It's like the Eva Mark series. It's like their own separate side series of Evangelions, if I'm remembering correctly. And I don't know, but it's being made on the moon. You know, it's being made on the moon because, like, Gendo and Fuyusuki, they go into, like, I think the Tagda base. Yeah, the Tagda base. And it's like a Sele base on the moon, right? And they go check out Eva Mark 6 being created. It was hinted at in Eva 1.0 that the Evangelion is being made, and then Kaoru is standing on one of the fingers of the Evangelions. And then when he takes a look at Gendo, he calls him father, which I don't know what he means by that, but, you know, this is Kaoru, everything's mysterious with him. Again, it's probably Splin 3.0, but I haven't seen 3.0 in a hot minute. So, you know, I'll technically be rewatching 3.0 again. So, you know, there's that. So, later on, the kids head off. The kids, as in Shinji, Rei, Asuka, Kensuke, Toji. They all go to this, and, you know, Kaji brings them to, like, this marine aquarium to see what the ocean was like before the second impact. They bring up... Kaji brings up the stuff about, you know, hey, this is what it used to be like, you know, before the third impact. We're trying to restore the water back to its natural glory, et cetera, et cetera. And I kind of like that, you know, it shows more of, you know, stuff like what happened, you know, why is stuff like that after the second impact. And, you know, funny enough, that there's a funny thing I caught in the movie, right? See, the kids have to kind of go through, like, this washing progress. I guess it's like, you know, prevent contamination. And they don't want to bring any, you know, contamination from the outside into, like, this pure marine aquarium place. So, like, they get washed repeatedly, dunked in water, washed repeatedly, dunked in water. And then for some godforsaken reason, Asuka's able to still use her goddamn Game Boy here, which I don't know, like, what the shit? Like, her Game Boy still works after being hit with that much water? I call bullshit. I don't give a shit how Evangelion works. Yeah, I can deal with the giant humanoid flesh robots being covered by armor to fight back giant aliens from space that want to come back and fight, then catch another giant alien underneath the earth. But no, I can't. My suspension of disbelief is completely shattered when Asuka can still use her goddamn Game Boy after being submerged in water many times. I call bullshit. But anyway, this is where Kaji reveals Masato's backstory about how Masato and you know, she survived the second impact and she hated her father. Honestly, it's not hinted on too much because, like, in the original series, Masato's hatred for her father and her, you know, ability to work at Nerve, you know, doing his line of duty, it's played on a bit more in the OG series. But here, it's like, it's only used as a callback to 1.0, where, like, hey, haha, I hate my father. Like, I guess I can't say that because Kaji only brings it up and it doesn't really go anywhere. So, you know, it's just I guess it's just there because, of course, this is, you know, Evangelion rebuild. I guess some callbacks and whatnot. Speaking of, like, weird things, Asuka and Rei's back and forth is way less intense in this version. See, like, back in the original series, Asuka really hated Rei. First she wanted to make friends with her, but she felt that Rei was being uppity. She felt like Rei was being uppity, and, like, you know, she obviously, you know, she thought Rei was being like a like, not a daddy's girl, but more like a suck up, you know, for her being, like, you know, a high place up in Nerve and being, you know, in good graces with all the people up in Nerve, just like how, like, you know, like people like with Gendo. And that's what my bad. That's what Asuka believed. But in this version, she kind of plays that, but it doesn't work the same way because she doesn't have that much interaction with Rei. You know, back in the day, she would try to talk to Rei. She feels like Rei would, you know, be, you know, uppity and shit like that. But in this version, it doesn't really make much sense because she has a little bit more positive reactions to Rei, and it doesn't work the same way, you know? They don't conflict with each other like they did in the original series. And I guess they're not supposed to in this version, but it still doesn't work the same way. Like, there are some things that I like about Eva 2.0, but there's a lot of things that kind of bug me about this movie. Again, it's so hard to not compare this to the original series, because that's what they're trying to go with their own thing, but at the same time, it doesn't work on this level because in the original version, it had layers to it. You know, there's layers that Rebuild is missing from the conflict. But anyway, also the conflict between Masato and Ritsuko kind of don't work here as well. Like they were friends, right? But there were some moments where Ritsuko would just, you know, think that Masato's recklessness would come at a cost of trying to put everyone at risk. And, you know, even a couple of times she freaking, like, Ritsuko slaps her, Masato slaps her, you know, back and forth and shit like that. But, you know, they have one argument once and, you know, call it a day. And now they work really close together in goddamn Eva 3.0. But, you know, again, I'm not there yet. But yeah. Yeah, there's some character interactions that I understand can't be emphasized upon because, again, this is a new continuity and this is not the OG series Evangelion. Again, I am so sorry for trying to compare this to OG series Evangelion, but it's so hard to do so because there were things they did right that they're trying to kind of redo here and it doesn't work, you know? But anyway, so we move on to the next angel attack. Like, I forgot his name. Honestly, I forgot his name. And it looked way different in this version. It's like a rainbow version now. Like, it's like, it can bend light. It can bend light. So yeah, good luck with trying to hit with conventional whipping. You know the Ava from that falls from the sky where Shinji, Asuka, and Rei all have to team up together to stop it. I kind of like that. It's funny that before the fight even starts, like, I remember the scene where, like, Shinji, Rei, and Asuka, they all have to run at the Ava, right? I'm sorry, they have to run at the angel using their Avas, right? And I don't know. It's just funny seeing the Avas pull off Olympic tier running to catch up to the falling angel. It's funny to me. Like Ava, like Unit 1 is fast enough to create cause a sonic boom, multiple sonic booms at that. I don't know. I just find it hilarious shit, man. That was a cool fight though, and it was also like the biggest, bloodiest Ava explosion ever. It covered the entirety of Tokyo 3 in blood. It did more damage to Tokyo 3 with his blood and Ramio did by itself, man. It's crazy. And that wasn't like the final boss, man. It's like, oh shit, dude. We freaking blew up and then we gotta clean up all this goddamn blood. And, you know, thanks to his efforts and stuff like that, Shinji gets praised by Gendo, which is really nice, you know. It kind of plays into Shinji's wanting to be, you know, praised by his father and acknowledged by his father. It's really nice. There's more to it in the OG series, but honestly, it's serviceable here. Speaking of Shinji, you know, Shinji and Asuka's tension is also lessened. Like, you know, it's more in line here where, like, you know, Asuka's, like, again, typical tsundere personality. So, like, it's not really laid on that she has affections for Shinji, because in the original series she did have a crush on Shinji, but because, you know, how the two of them act with their mental trauma and shit, they couldn't get really close enough to each other. It's kind of played on here. It's like, yeah, Asuka, you know, acts like that for Shinji, but it's not really laid on the idea of maybe she has affection for him because they kind of lean Shinji towards Rei more. You know, speaking of Asuka, I keep bringing up Asuka's connections to other characters. They just don't have the same kick they do in the original versions. Asuka doesn't speak German like she used to, which was a good part of her character. Asuka doesn't have a crush on Kaiji like she did in the original version. Hell, the two of them don't even talk to each other. She and Hikaru aren't even friends in this version. Again, I know that this is definitely just an OG series Evangelion that I'm trying to bring up, but it was a lot more. Asuka Langley Soryu felt like a human character there. Asuka Langley Shikinami just feels like this version of Asuka what people see as her. Like, I feel like this is like Asuka Langley Shikinami's way of using Asuka. It's like Anno's way of saying, you guys see Asuka like this without seeing her layers. Like your whole bullshit waifu wars. This is how you see Asuka. Okay, this is how you see Asuka. I'm giving you the Asuka you want. That's what it feels like Anno's trying to tell people. It's like, oh, you guys just see Asuka as this typical tsundere character without seeing the layers underneath her. Fine, you want her? Here's Asuka Langley Shikinami, you pieces of shit. That's what it feels like. Hell, freaking Asuka, like, freaking later on the film, freaking Rei thanks Asuka, and then Asuka's like, you know, she's all happy for her and shit like that. I'm like, God damn it, no, this is not supposed to happen. Where's the conflict? We're not supposed to have them buddy. Burn it all down. No. Oh man, this is funny. Anyway, But anyway, seeing Rey and Shinji get together is nice. Honestly, look, I know, I know Rey being a clone of Yui kind of brings up red flags, but honestly, I kind of like the relationship between Rey and Shinji a lot better than it did with Asuka. Again, I love the Asuka and Shinji relationship. It's perfect because those two are definitely both counterparts and yet similar to each other. But I don't know. It's nice to see Rey and Shinji get to talk and get together and stuff like that. It's cute. I kind of like that. It's pretty cute. I always lean more in Rey's favor because, I liked Rey, I felt bad for Rey because she really didn't give a damn about her own existence, and that sucks. I understand. I see people like that. It's depressing. But anyway, moving on from that. So during the movie, Rey has dinner with Gendo, right? And she tries to talk about, would it be a problem if you have dinner with your son? And Gendo's all I like having dinner, but I don't know. But he sees Yui and he sees a little bit of Yui inside Rey, and he decides to go with it. And it's nice to see that. Gendo would never have dinner with Shinji, but seeing Yui's like, damn it, I have to do it. God damn it. Damn it, Yui, your soul can't come back and tell me I have dinner with my son. But I don't know. It's the idea is it's just hilarious, right? The idea of Gendo deciding to have dinner with Shinji and company in the first place, thanks to Rey and some Yui intervention, is hilarious. I don't care what anyone says. That's the funniest shit ever to see Gendo say, okay, I'll have dinner with Shinji. That's the funniest shit ever. I don't care what anyone says. So, moving on from that, Mari just falls out of the sky. I don't like Mari's introduction for her to meet Shinji. I get it, they kind of airdropped her in, but it just feels like it was kind of forced there for her to airdrop in and meet Shinji. And it's like, you smell good, you smell like LCL, my guy. But I don't know, it just seems really forced, and I don't like it, man. Mari just, the character doesn't hit for me. I know she has a lot of fans, but Mari just doesn't hit for me, man. Just something about her, I don't like, though. But, it's nice to see Rey start to come out of her shell more. It's cute seeing Rey come out of her shell more. She steps into class greeting people. She starts cooking now. She's going to cook for, the dinner that Gendo and Shinji were going to have. She's smiling more, which is incredibly adorable. She sends invites to others, and it sends invites to Masato, Rey. Why I say Rey? Rey is sending invites to herself. Why I say that? Rey is sending invites to Ritsuko, Masato, Shinji. It's nice to see that. It's adorable as hell, and I love it, all of it. God damn it. Seeing Rey smile in any capacity is just heartwarming in general. And it's nice seeing her, because in the original series, there is one thing I did miss that didn't make it over. I remember it kind of played with Rey's ability to try to talk to people. She doesn't really think much for herself, but she does feel empathy for people, and she's trying to talk to them and stuff like that through their problems. She does the same thing to Asuka later in the movie and in the OG series. There was this conversation she had with Toji in the original series that I really did like, because those two never interacted, and it was actually nice seeing such a thing, because Toji was having problems, Rey knew he was having problems, and she was talking to him. It was weird, a conversation, but I felt like that would have transferred over, but it's depressing. And I'll get into more Toji stuff later, but it's honestly kind of sad. So later on, they bring out more Ava units. There was Ava Unit 4, and it was being used as a test for the dummy system, but it blew up, and it didn't work too well because of the angel bullshit, and yada yada, meh, ooh. Honestly, that was all day. You're just it was like a big deal. Oh shit, Ava Unit 4 is down, Ava Unit 4 down. And then we get to Sele, and they're trying to seek something known as the true Evangelion that will help them in the eventual human instrumentality project. Apparently, they call the true Evangelion a god. It's a true god. And how Gendo and Fuyusuke bring up the Evangelions they create as false gods, stuff like that. So we get into this thing. Speaking of Evangelions, right? We get into this thing called the Vatican Treaty. Now I don't remember if the Vatican Treaty was in the original series, but it doesn't seem familiar. So apparently, the Vatican Treaty dictates that no country should own more than 3 Evangelion units. And I'm sitting here what is that supposed to mean? What is that? That makes no sense, that makes no sense. And I thought about it more. And I was like, why is this Vatican Treaty thing exist? You know, like what is that supposed to mean? Like, I feel like that was just an excuse to try to prevent Asuka for having Eva Unit 2. Because of the Vatican Treaty, once Japan gets Unit 3, Eva Unit 2 is taken back to Germany. And I don't know, like, the big deal about the Evas in the original series is like, hey, only certain children can use these Evas because their mother's soul was in the units. They can use them better. But all the kids in Shinji's class were all Eva Unit candidates. So like in this case in the movie, like I guess Kyoko Zeppelin Soryu's soul means absolutely nothing in this version of the movie because Asuka could just swap Evas whenever. I guess I don't know. Also, speaking of like Eva Unit 3, Toji isn't the pilot for Unit 3 in the Rebuild series, and Asuka is instead chosen for the pilot of the unit. I don't know why exactly Asuka was chosen. Like when the Vatican Treaty, like I know the Vatican Treaty kind of takes place like, hey, you know, no country can have more than 3 Evas, but like if you could just swap pilots like that, like if you couldn't do that, like the OG series couldn't, wouldn't the Vatican Treaty take Asuka back as well? They could still keep Asuka, but they take away Unit 2, and then like who would pilot Unit 2? Well, Mari would, but Mari's in Japan. I don't freaking know, dude. Let's just move on from that. The Vatican Treaty's kind of dumb. I don't understand. Like, by that logic, they would have to take Asuka back too. Like, that makes no sense. Like, they could have just still used Toji as his pilot. They just didn't put no emphasis on it. I don't know. I don't like the change of being from Toji to Asuka. I get it for more intense shit and, you know, for her actions in Eva 3.0, but honestly, I don't like it. Speaking of Asuka, again, I keep saying speaking of. I like leading into these. Rei doesn't get slapped by Asuka like, you know, they had the elevator scene. The elevator scene's a lot shorter because, you know, hey, we don't have to be limited by budget this time, and honestly, tension and shit like that. But you know, no budget, no tension here. She just cuts to the chase. Asuka tries to, you know, she argues, blah, 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 blah. She tries to slap Rei. Rei just straight up blocks the hit. He's like, oh shit, nah, I ain't gonna get slapped like I did in the OG version. I'm blocking that. She stops the attack, and Rei is a lot more talkative. And Asuka reveals that Rei doesn't even know that she's in love with Shinji, which is actually really crazy. And that makes my freaking 7-year-old ship of Evangelion Rei x Shinji canon. Boo, I don't care what anyone says. But anyway, so there was this conversation where Asuka has with Masato as she's being fitted for Eva Unit 3, right? And, you know, she essentially goes through an entire an entire character development arc in her conversation with Masato alone. Like, it's only a few minutes alone, right? And it feels really unearned. Honestly, like, it just, again, I remember I mentioned before that Asuka Langley Shikinami just doesn't hit the same way. And, like, the fact that she's having this conversation with Masato means nothing because she hasn't gone through anything like that. Yeah, the one thing she went through is her failing to beat the angel on her own, but it feels like it was so abrupt and it changed her character that fast. Like, it feels unearned for her to have that conversation with Masato. I just personally feel it. It doesn't work the same because, like, if Asuka back in the OG series was doing the same, was talking the same way to Masato after the whole business with the OG series and she managed to turn a new leaf somehow, then it would make sense. But nah, it doesn't make sense here. So anyway, back to Unit 3. Unit 3 gets infected by the Angel, like the OG series, and is later named the Ninth Angel. Now there's this funny thing, right? During the when Asuka goes to deep dive in order to contact with Unit 3, she gets like wings, like these fairy girl wings, and like laughing happens in the background when she's pushed in through. I don't know what the hell that was supposed to be about, but I guess it's like I don't know. I think it was like the Angel trying to contact her, which makes sense. Like, I think that's their way of trying to, like, incorporate the same thing where Asuka was hit by that giant beam from Ariel in space. Ariel, like that giant bird, the giant winged angel, where it shoots the beam, the Hallelujah beam, and Asuka and essentially mind rapes her ass. That's what I feel like they were trying to go with this angel, where, like, it kind of does the same thing. I don't know, man. I feel like it's trying to incorporate that into her being affected by Unit 3's Angel. I don't know. But hearing Ritsuko say, tell Asuka she will no longer be human. Like, she's like, oh no, if she goes any further down, she'll no longer be human. Like, it's the funniest line in the goddamn movie. If Asuka goes down any further, she'll no longer be human. Like, I don't know, hearing Ritsuko say that is just the funniest shit ever. Like, I nearly lost my shit hearing Ritsuko say that. I was like, oh my god, dude, no. So now we get to the showdown between Shinji and Asuka. See, back in the day, it was like Shinji versus Toji, but like, no, this time it's Shinji versus Asuka. And, this time Shinji knows that Asuka's inside Unit 3. Back in the OG series, I think Shinji didn't know Toji was in the unit, right? He was just hesitating to fight some awesome random kid that was in Unit 3. But this time he knows Asuka's in there. And I feel like in Shinji's case, him knowing it's Asuka hits more, you know? Granted, they didn't have the same relationship they did back in the OG series. But I feel like because Shinji knows Asuka's in there, the pain of him essentially thinking that he killed her makes more sense, you know. And plus we get that edgy play soft and unfitting music over disturbing moments shit that I love in media so much. I don't know why, I don't know what the first thing, a movie or series ever that did that sort of thing, when they play like soft and like cheerful music over like effed up bloody shit. I don't know where the hell they came up with that, but I love that shit so much. I don't know why, but it's so cool and edgy as... Ooh, I love it. But anyway, since Shinji is unwilling to fight back Asuka, Gendo puts in place the dummy system and it takes over for Shinji. And then Unit 1 just wrecks Asuka in Unit 3. Honestly, in the manga version, I like the idea that Toji died while Shinji killed his ass, like we wrecked him. It's funny that they actually, like, the mangaka actually went to the trouble of, like, it's like, you know what, yeah, of course, freaking Unit 1 bites the goddamn plug, like the plug thing, like, you know, I can't remember what it's called. The not the dummy plug, the pod thing. I forgot the name that fast. I know what it is, but anyway, the pilot's in the pod, right? And your freaking Unit 1 bites down on it. Of course it freaking kills someone. Like, what the shit? But no, Toji survives in the anime, Asuka survives in the movie, but Toji straight up dies in the manga. I mean, it would make sense, you know, it would really mess up Shinji bad if he knew he killed someone. Which would make sense. This is more torture. Honestly, you know what's funny? Honestly, the brutality of this scene kind of reminds me of the time when Unit 1 went berserk against that, what was that damn angel's name? You know, the angel that doesn't have any arms, that just floats around? Like, it doesn't have any arms. It's like this weird, like it looks like a goddamn, like it has like a weird face and shit like that. You know, when Shinji breaks into Nerve and punches it in the face, it shows up later in the movie. That's what it reminds me of, because Shinji just straight up like this, you know, using the dummy system, like, you know, straight up. The dummy system is using Unit 1 to straight up just brutally bash his face in and eat away at it, just like it did to that angel back in the OG series when it went berserk. I like that. But anyway, so yeah, so later in the movie, after Shinji, you know, deals with that ordeal, he goes back to Nerve headquarters. And I love this scene where Shinji just straight up pissed the hell off at Gendo, right? He just straight up goes to Nerve HQ and starts stepping on the damn Geofront, shit like that. He's so goddamn pissed off. Spike Spencer does well to sell Shinji's anger, and I love it. Like, he just sounds like, it's like Spike Spencer himself is pissed off, and I love it. Like, it sounds so good. So now that Asuka is out of commission, Mori Makanami is now the pilot of Unit 2, and at the same time, Kaoru makes his move to head down to Earth, apparently. So the 10th Angel shows up. Remember, the 10th Angel I was talking about earlier, the one with no arms? Yeah, it also gets an upgrade because it's essentially the final boss of the movie. So it comes down, it one-shots all of Nerve's layers, like the layers that lead down to Nerve headquarters, down to Central Dogma. It's called Central Dogma, but it was like Terminal Dogma. But anyway, yeah, it blows up all the armor plating layers in one shot. And I'm like, oh my god. It can also transform again, like, you know, it has like, you can wrap its arms and shit. And get like it gets an upgrade. Ramio got an upgrade. The 10th Angel gets an upgrade. I forgot. I forget. I keep forgetting these angels by name, so I'm just going to call it the 10th Angel for now. So Mori decides to go down to the Geofront now. She's the pilot of Unit 2. And she fights back, 10th Angel. See, honestly, this scene where Mori is in Unit 2 in the destroyed Geofront, it reminds me a lot when Asuka fought back the mass-produced Evangelions back in the end of Evangelion. Like, I don't know, that scene reminds me of all, because, you know, Asuka's down the Geofront. She's fighting back the mass-produced Eva, the destroyed Geofront. That's what it reminds me of, you know? Like, I don't know if anyone's ever caught that, but it reminds me of it. It's like they try to incorporate that scene into the movie. I don't know, it looks cool. It looks cool as shit. But anyway, so, moving on from that. So, for whatever reason, Unit 2, right? Unit 2 has a mode, like an alternate mode called the Beast. And Mari is able to, like, some backdoor code shit, whatever. And then, like, I guess it's supposed to be, like, I don't know. Like, Mari gets, like, sharp teeth and glowing eyes and shit. I mean, it looks cool, though Unit 2 looks really ugly in beast form. I mean, I don't get it. You know, I don't get this beast form shit. Because, like, it can't be controlled. You know, like, it's not Berserk mode. Because Berserker can, like, we know Berserk, right? We know Berserk, like, you know, Shinji, you know, like, you know, gets the teeth, Unit 1 gains the teeth and goes insane and shit like that, you know, beat the shit out of this. That's Yui's taking over, right? But I don't get Beast mode, right? I don't know why only Unit 2 can do it, because as we've seen in this movie in 3.0, only Unit 2 can Beast mode. Because, like, in the end of Evangelion, we know that Unit 2 can go Berserk. Like, so we can presume that all the Evas can go Berserk, right? Because Unit 1 was able to do it and Unit 2 was able to do it, and we can only presume that the other Evas could have done it, right? But I don't know why Unit 2 has this specific Beast mode. I don't know if it's just for marketing and shit like that, like, hey, we can make figures off this shit. I don't know the point of Beast mode, and I don't know how Mari knows it, just getting into the unit. Because as of 3.0, we haven't seen Mari use her Eva's Beast mode. We don't know if her Eva, the pink one, I can't remember his name, has a Beast mode. So, like, only Unit 2 apparently has it, and I don't get it. I don't get it. But, you know, whatever. I guess it's just here for, like, hey, we might as well give Eva 2 a bump and give it some kind of wacky form. I don't freaking know. I don't like the idea of Beast mode. It's just kind of weird, man. Like, if the unit went Berserker and you could control it, yeah, I can understand, but, you know, whatever. Anyway, so, you know, the 10th Angel just wrecking shit, wrecked the Geofront, wrecking Mari, wrecking just everything around it, wrecks Unit 1. Hell, the 10th Angel decides to goddamn eat Unit 0, right? Eats Unit 0, and then gains, like, this female lower half due to absorbing Rei along with Unit 0. It honestly reminds me of when, like, where, like, Lilith, like, back in Evangelion, where Lilith managed to absorb Rei and Adam, and it, you know, obviously formed a giant naked Rei. That's what it reminds me of. It's subtle, but I don't know. I feel like I'm just trying to stretch for End of Eva references, but that's what it reminds me of. Like, all of this movie just reminds me of End of Eva near the end. I don't know. It just reminds me. But anyway, so yeah, knowing that Rei is gone, Shinji is like, you know what? F this. I'm tired of running. I'm not going to run away. I'm going to face my father. I'm going to be this badass character and fight back the 10th Angel. It's so goddamn sick. Shinji goes badass mode for the first time. You know, like, it's been the first time Shinji went badass since Super Robot Wars F. I love Super Robot Wars, guys, but damn it, dude, Shinji was a badass there, and he was a badass in this movie, right? And Shinji just isn't having any shit. He isn't having it anymore. He yells back at Gendo. He forces Unit 1 into God mode, all because of his desire to save Rei. And then the fool causes the third impact. Like, the shit... I'm sorry, the near third impact. I'm sorry. It's not the third impact because it didn't go off completely. Because, like, Kaoru arrives at the end credits and throws a spear at him, presumably the spear of Longinus, or the spear of Cassius, and stabs Shinji through, preventing him from completing the third impact. This was the near third impact. But anyway, as I was saying before, yeah, Shinji becomes Chad God mode, says "F you, Dad," like, straight up just turn, like, Ritsuko's all like, dude, like, Eva 1 is transforming into this godlike being and will ultimately destroy all life that came before it because it's transcending the limits of humanity. And I'm like, what the shit? Ritsuko, shut up. What are you doing? Why are you saying all this at the last minute? What the hell's going on? I mean, I already know they were going to say this. I already know they were talking about how they're trying to awaken Unit 1 to become a god. But it's just funny seeing Ritsuko say all this shit. It's like, oh shit, dude. You know the cost of Unit 1 awakening into god mode? Oh yeah, we're all going to die because we're life that came before its transcendence. Oh no, man. It's funny as shit to me. It's funny to me. I don't know, man. Just hearing Ritsuko yell at this shit like, holy shit, dude. We're all gonna die, bro. This fool's Ava is transcending the boundaries of humanity and is becoming a godlike being that will go into the heavens and become this sovereign of light and godliness. I don't know, dude. Oh, man. It's funny that when Shinji becomes a Chad god, he causes the end of the goddamn world, man. And then the last moments of Shinji trying to break the boundaries of whatever the hell he was trying to do, like just try to save Rei, was actually pretty heartwarming. Like, it was sick as shit. Like, I don't know, man. It was just the sickest shit ever. Like, they laid it on thick with Rei x Shinji in this movie, and I love every moment of it. But yeah, anyway, as I mentioned before, Kaoru finally arrives at the end of the movie. He stabs Shinji with the spear. It ends the third impact before it can get any worse, which is why I called it the near third impact. And he tells Shinji that he'll show him true happiness, and boom, that's the end of the movie. Honestly, I feel like Ava, I don't know, man. This movie's a lot more mixed than I thought it was. Everything else was fine. I like the moments with Shinji. I like the moments with Rei. I like the action and shit like that, but Asuka's like a real sore point for me. I'm not a fan of Asuka Langley Shikadami. Like, it's not like I hate her, but damn, I don't know, man. It's just, she don't hit, you know? She doesn't hit anymore. It kind of sucks. She's not as, I don't know. I don't like her as much as the original Asuka Langley story. It was just, no way, man. She just doesn't hold a candle. Like, she comes as badass pilot with the eye patch in freaking Ava 3.0, but still doesn't save her for me. But yeah. Anything else I gotta say about this movie? I already mentioned the whole story of the movie. Anything else? They enhanced the fan service. There's like this scene where like Asuka was like turning around. You see like her legs and her butt and shit like that. I'm like, okay, come on, guys, come on. We get the animation budget to do it, but come on, show some restraint. What else? Shirou Sagisu. He does it again. Shirou Sagisu does this shit again, where he's like the Chad god of music composing. Shirou Sagisu is a gem, dude. Like, holy shit, man. Like, he needs to be protected so hard. Like the music he's busting out here is insane. Fate, Destiny, like what else? What's another song? Shit. Most of the music I like he's doing, like that he did. Oh, The Final Decision, We All Must Take. That's another song. Honestly, most of his best and most of his Evangelion music and the best music he did for the rebuilds are all in 3.0, which is madness, man. And I'll be talking about a lot more music in 3.0. But yeah, Shirou Sagisu, he went in hard. He goes even harder on Ava 3.0. But holy shit, he goes in hard in this movie. Like goddamn. Not gonna lie, there was one song I wish he kind of remixed, and that was Separation Anxiety. You know that song that plays where Shinji's in this dreamscape? You know that track that plays in Shinji's dreamscape where he's talking and shit like that? Honestly, I feel like Sagisu should have did a remix of Separation Anxiety during those Shinji train dreams. I don't know, I feel like I would have liked it. But yeah, anyway, that's it. That's all of the movie. That's it right there. Honestly, I like the movie. It's just the Asuka parts kind of drain it for me. Like, it's just, she's not bad. She's like, Asuka Langley Shikidami isn't bad, but I don't know, man. She's just, I mean, she feels like an Asuka that didn't go through all the trauma and shit, which she is. She didn't go through all the trauma she did as a kid, and I don't know. It just doesn't. That's what made Asuka. You know, like, it just. This one just feels like a caricature. Honestly, I like the developments for Shinji and Rei. They done well with them, but Asuka feels like a tacked on last minute decision. They're like, oh shit, yeah, we have to put Asuka in. So her entrance wasn't as good as the original. Her character wasn't. I just feel like Asuka could have just been written out. And then she gets wrecked by Shinji. Like, honestly, I feel like Asuka could have been written out of the movie and nothing would have changed. That's the sad part about it. Asuka was not like an integral part of the original series, but She was one of the main goddamn characters. When I feel like one of the main characters of the series feels like a tacked on decision, that's where you lose me. Asuka feels like a last minute choice. And I know she isn't, because she's one of the main characters of the series, but she feels like just the end. Like she feels like, Anna was like, yeah, oh yeah, I forgot. I mentioned before in the movie that like Asuka like was here, like I feel like she's here for Anna to tell people, yeah, this is what you see Asuka as, so you're getting her this way, right? But I don't know, she feels like a last resort kind of thing. It's like, oh shit, man, we need to get Asuka here. We gotta have our Asuka quota. We can't have this Evangelion movie out. We need her here. That's what it feels like, and it shouldn't feel that way. It should not feel that way. That's what pisses me off about this movie. I like Asuka, and the fact that she feels like a tacked-on, last-minute decision, character-wise, sucks so hard. But yeah, that's it. That's all. That's all of Evangelion 2.0. I'm gonna see you all guys next time for Eva 3.0, because shit is only going to get wackier from there, and I'm ready. I'm ready to watch 3.0 and get to Eva 3.0 plus 1.0. I'm ready. Let's do this thing.